What's good, YouTube? And welcome to the house. When a meme becomes a buyout, Power Bond is actually scaling through the roof. Now, there's plenty of common options for you to still go and get should you want to be a Cyber Dragon duelist. There's all the jokes about getting a Power Bond searcher from Yugi No, and it really seems to signal that Power Bond is just amazing in Cyber Dragons. But people might have taken that a little far. We see the DR4 version. DR4 is always a targeted buyout card, and we see the Power Bonds, the super rares, go far, far above and beyond what they should be at. The lowest near mint over here on TCG Player being at $50 versus a market price of $9. On eBay, it's already a bit lower. We have a seller of a near mint copy at around $27. Where it falls, nobody knows. Stay away from this one. Yes, it could go up from here over years and years and years, but it's a recent buyout. The people who got out on the ground floor of this are those who will make out with it, and it will fall back down over time before it rises again, because the whole point of buyouts is to make money. So people are going to want to sell these just for more than they bought them for. They'll probably settle at 20s and 15s, etc. So just if you're really hungry for a DR4 Power Bond and for some reason at this point in life didn't have it, maybe you traded your Cyber Dragons when you quit Yu-Gi-Oh! And you're excited for the new support, this kind of happened. It's definitely more of a forced buyout than just natural occurrence of people grabbing Cyber Dragon cards. And we see it as well, the ultimate rare, the lowest, you see the $70 norm price, that includes first and unlims usually. We see the lowest unlimited is at like 78, and it's the only near mint on all of TCG Player. But even the secret rare is going. Don't let your memes be dreams, folks. You can turn them into reality, as not a single near mint copy exists over here, and the lowest over here on eBay is at $32 before you got a heavy played one. If you really think a Legendary Collection Secret's ever going to be worth more than a DR4 Super, it could happen, but I don't think this will be the card to do it, even though it looks really nice. My total review on this is play the common if you're really upset about these prices. It's just a meme, and it seems to have gone too far. That's my review on it. Ulti Power Bond, though, if you have it in your closet, you might want to just start letting these go right now while the hype is fresh. The Ultra Rare I actually haven't taken a good look at. Let's see where it's landed or ended up. None on the front page. Lowest near mint, around 15 bucks. There used to be this vendor at the YCSs who would sell packs of like CDIP like they were nothing, but this is CRV, right? Yeah, it's CRV. So it's kind of an older card and really hard to get a mint ultra. So market price of 8, we'll see where it lands. We'll come back to this one in a future market watch down the line. Going back through Expo, the only real notes are that the Mech Knights are starting to climb back up. It seems like people really are taking to the Mech Knight Invoke deck, thinking that maybe it'll avoid the upcoming ban list, and we see the Mech Knights just starting to climb back from their original fall from the Unlimiteds, coming out and lowering the price. Electromite's still where it was at. Saryuja, you have some light play copies before it's still like $58. And then Cerebus still sitting pretty cheap, along with Inspector Border, slowly starting to climb. We've seen it at 8 even, and it's starting to climb back up. Hey Trunade slowly climbing back up. You see its market price of $6.40, low $7 now. And Called by the Grave, still sitting at $5. Just this is one of the best special editions you ever saw vendors open up. Just so much money to be made when they are spending like $6 I guess MSRP is what you're supposed to sell it at distribution price to them. They're just enjoying opening these up and ripping open the packs, getting Saryuja's, Electromites, selling the crap out of them. So this is something I haven't done in a while on the channel. Ban lists are not ban lists. Well, of course ban lists are super important to the game. Buy lists are super important when buying, selling, and trading cards because they're a secondary option and they exist for a reason. Sometimes buy lists are so good that you'll get what you would normally have after fees. Now, you notice I don't do this a lot. Troll and Toad is above me here, but they actually just sponsor the Zodiac tournaments and not my channel, and they've expressed multiple times, we do not want to control your content in any way, shape, or form. We want you to have full control over that. So it's really nice of them to never, like, really make a demand of me. And I like to show off their hot list specifically from time to time, because they give some really good prices, in my opinion, versus what you would get by selling and then getting fees and using postage, because you can put everything together in one box when you're shipping to them. So like Foolish Burial Goods here, MP17, they're paying $4.25 right now on their hot buy list, when Foolish Burial Goods is getting reprinted soon, and it's about $5.46. That's near 80%-ish, which is usually really good from a vendor. And at the same time, they're taking up to 12 quantities. So if you had been stocking up on this and you see the reprint on the horizon, this is something I would definitely consider selling to them. The buy lists are really good for bailing you out when reprints are announced, but then their own base is able to continue selling the card. It works out really well. They also alert you sometimes to cards that you wouldn't have been really looking at. Twin Twisters, for example, is up actually on all fronts, and I didn't know that. Their hot buy list is kind of aimed towards what's selling really well for them, which can sometimes be just a pocket of the market, just something targeting their site, but it's often really good as a dipstick to the market, being able to tell what's selling. So like Twin Twisters is something I didn't know was still going up, and the commons are actually like ridiculous, almost $7. So something to maybe pick out of your commons and sell if you're not using right now, because most people seem to be going with Cosmic Cyclone, although I keep seeing Imperial Ironwall tech here and there, and that's pretty darn good, and Twin Twisters bypasses that. So we might be ending up back towards a meta where Twin Twisters becomes a side choice over Cosmic Cyclone, but you never know. Just a point, if you're not using it, the commons are 7s. They're paying $5.50, which isn't a terrible price, but personally, I would not be selling the super rares to them. I'd be trading them in person, perhaps. But if you've had trouble moving them, it is a great outlet. Then we see Gamma Seal, actually at $9.50. This is a really good price on Gamma Seal. For the, you see the Doc's first heads are selling at like $11 from the lowest seller, and then 12. Like, they're paying a very good percentage on Gamma Seal. But it's not a card you have a lot of trouble unloading to, so you could kind of like take your time, see if you can end up trading it, and if you have trouble trading it, offload it to them. And the same kind of deal with the Foolish Burial Goods. Like, there's no reprint on the horizon for Gamma Seal, but if you have extras, you're not using them, you could use cash. Like, this is a good alternative. How I used to trade a lot, I sent into Troll. That's actually how I got to know them. We have Ciphering Driver actually at an amazing price, $4.25. And we see it over here at lowest $4.68, $4.70. And I believe it's actually a little cheaper on eBay, although I haven't checked today. So, like, sellers, after their stamp alone, not counting fees, are getting less selling their Ciphering Drivers online over there than they would be sending it into Troll and Toad. That's just some food for thought. You're actually saving money by selling it to them, unless you somehow offloaded it in person for, you know, less than a stamp difference here. Usually you're not going to get more than you would online. Another card that I wasn't really thinking about anymore, Torrential, which is back to 3. They're spending $6 on the secret rare. This is another example of a kind of card that I wouldn't necessarily be selling to them, because it's more of something you want in your trade binder. In my opinion, it's not only good in GOAT format, but current decks like Burning Abyss might consider this card. So it's at $9, they're offering like 66%. It's still a pretty good margin from a vendor, but like this is the kind of card on their hot list that personally, unless they were paying more, I'm keeping. But they have a lot of other good options. This is what I mean by it's good to come over here and see what's trending. You might not know what you have, and it's really good to look through what they have, such as Ebon Illusion Magician from the jump. This is a card I might consider selling to them, because I think in person you'd have a hard time selling it, and we see it's actually at low seller at $14. So after fees, after shipping, it's very close to that price they'd get, and their sales rate probably isn't that good on the ultra rare. And I actually didn't remember that the supers had spiked up. They seem to have stayed spiked as one of the only cards not to get a recent reprint that Dark Magician Duelist would need. So the Super is sitting at $5 with a very low quantity, and you see a low quantity overall for the jump as well, but perhaps not the best sell rate despite the low quantity. It's really hard to tell how many are actually selling here on TCG Player unless you have the data for that. But this is what I mean, like, they're cards you might have, you didn't consider would be worth money, and also you can see what's kind of trending for them. They end up on their hot buy list when they're hitting high quantities of sales and low stock. That's the only way to end up over here unless they're manually entered. So you definitely get a better look. Some prices, like I said, I would keep to trade, but it's knowledge by visiting Troll and Toad's hot buy list. And knowledge is definitely power when trading. And then there's other stuff I would definitely sell right now. Foolish Burial Goods, 1,000,000,000% would I sell them all my Psyframe drivers. So, thanks for watching today. What did you think of going over this buy list kind of thing again? I like to incorporate it sometimes. They don't tell me to do it. I don't have to do it. But I do think it is really good to go through buy list and see what vendors are offering, especially when it's so close to full price. I think this is a huge part of buying, selling, and trading, having access to buy list and thinking about buy list, because outlets are honestly the bottleneck. As you move up as a trader and get huge collections, your problem becomes selling cards in time, and buy lists become your outlet, not just eBay and TCG Player. So thanks for watching. Again, let me know what you think. If you don't like this approach, I use it sparsely. I don't plan to make this an all the time thing. Maybe bi-weekly, once a month, something like that, or when there's something to note that I got from over here. But it's something I used to do a lot more, and I think it's somewhat important to, like, note that, like, there's really good prices to be found sometimes.